Welcome to Emma's English. Welcome back to Emma's English Talk, your daily channel for mastering real-world English. I'm your host, Emma. Today, we're going to watch and listen to a conversation about why does choosing a restaurant take so long? First, just sit back, relax, and try to catch as much as you can. Don't worry if you miss a few words. We will break down the key vocabulary in our word tour later in the video. Ready? Let's dive into the dialogue. Have you ever noticed how incredibly difficult it is to pick a casual place to eat with friends, even when everyone says they do not care where we go?
Oh, absolutely. It is the classic struggle where everyone is trying to be polite, but we end up driving around in circles for an hour.
Exactly. And I feel like the phrase, "I do not mind," is actually a trap because nobody wants to make the final decision and be responsible if the food is bad.
That is so true. Because if you suggest a place and it turns out to be a total disappointment, you feel like the entire evening is your fault.
I think social media makes it even worse these days because instead of just looking at a menu, we look at hundreds of photos and reviews before we even step inside.
It definitely adds a lot of pressure. And sometimes I find myself scrolling through food apps for so long that I actually lose my appetite entirely.
That is called choice overload, where having 50 options makes you unhappier than just having 2 or 3 solid choices.
I definitely suffer from that, especially when I am already hungry, which is the worst time to make any kind of logical decision.
We even have a specific word for that state of mind, which is being hangry, combining hungry and angry into one dangerous emotion.
That describes me perfectly, because when I reach that point, my brain just completely shuts down and I cannot process a menu.
My biggest issue is when someone asks, "What do you feel like eating?" And my mind instantly goes completely blank, like I have never eaten food before in my life.
I do that too. Or I will say anything is fine, but then my friends will suggest pizza, and I will immediately say no, not pizza.
See, that proves you actually do care. You just want someone else to guess the secret restaurant you have in your mind.
Guilty as charged. I guess I just want the perfect option to magically appear without having to do any of the mental work.
I have started using a new strategy with my friends where we use the elimination method to narrow down the choices quickly.
How does that work exactly? Because any system that speeds up the process sounds like a lifesaver to me.
Well, one person names 3 totally different types of cuisine, like Italian, Thai, or Mexican, and the other person has to immediately veto one.
That sounds brilliant, because it is much easier to say what you do not want than to declare exactly what you do want.
Precisely. And once you get down to the final 2, you just flip a coin and let fate decide the rest.
Flipping a coin is underrated, because the moment the coin is in the air, you usually realize which side you are secretly hoping it lands on.
That is a psychological trick. Your true desire reveals itself when you face the possibility of losing it.
It really works. But what do you do when you are eating with a really big group of people? Because the elimination method must get complicated then.
Big groups are a completely different beast. And honestly, my rule for big groups is that the loudest person or the organizer just needs to dictate the place.
I agree. Democracy totally fails when it comes to group dinners. And someone just needs to be the benevolent dictator of dinner.
Otherwise, you end up standing on the sidewalk outside a busy train station for 20 minutes, getting colder and hungrier by the minute.
And then you compromise on a completely average burger place that nobody actually wanted just to end the debate.
The funny thing is that we usually order the exact same thing every time we go to our regular spots anyway.
That is the ultimate irony. We spend all this time debating new places, only to order the number 4 combo that we have eaten 50 times before.
We are creatures of habit. We love the idea of novelty. But when we are tired after a long day, we just want comfort and predictability.
Comfort food is called that for a reason. It requires zero brain power to enjoy, and you know exactly what you are getting.
I think that is why chain restaurants are so successful worldwide, because whether you are in Tokyo or New York, the experience is identical.
There is definitely a sense of relief in that predictability. even if it is not the most adventurous culinary experience.
But don't you feel a little disappointed with yourself when you choose the safe option instead of trying that new independent bistro down the street?
A little bit, yes, but I usually tell myself that I will try the adventurous new place next weekend when I have more energy.
And then next weekend arrives, you are tired again, and the endless cycle of indecision repeats itself.
It is a loop that is hard to break, which is why I think we need to appreciate the friends who actually enjoy making decisions.
Oh, those friends are absolute gold. If someone says we are going to this specific pasta place at 7, I will follow them anywhere.
They take all the decision fatigue away, and you can just show up and enjoy the conversation without any of the pre-dinner stress.
So, the lesson here is either to become the friend who makes the plan or find a friend who loves to take control.
I'm definitely going to stick to the second option and let someone else do the heavy lifting from now on.
Fair enough, as long as you promise not to say I do not care and then reject their first 3 suggestions.
I make no promises, but I will definitely try my best to be a more cooperative dinner companion in the future.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our vocabulary breakdown for today's episode. When Tom and I were chatting about the struggles of choosing a place to eat, we used a few natural English expressions that are incredibly useful for daily life. Let us look at 5 of them together. First, we talked about decision paralysis. This happens when you have so many choices that your brain freezes and you cannot make a decision at all. You might experience decision paralysis when looking at a massive menu or trying to pick a movie on Netflix. Next is the word hangry. This is a casual blend of 2 words, hungry and angry. It describes that specific feeling when you become irritable or upset simply because you need to eat food right away. If you feel your temper rising before lunchtime, you are probably just hangry. Our third expression is guilty as charged. This is a playful idiom you can use when someone accuses you of a bad habit and you admit that they are completely right. For example, if someone says you spend too much money on coffee and you agree, you can say, guilty as charged. Then, we mentioned creatures of habit. This phrase describes people who love routine and prefer doing the exact same things every day. If you always order the same meal at your favorite restaurant because you dislike change, you are a creature of habit. Finally, we used the term decision fatigue. This is the mental tiredness you feel after making too many choices throughout the day. By the time evening arrives, decision fatigue makes even simple choices, like picking between chicken or fish, feel like hard work. Try using one of these phrases next time you are out with friends and notice how much more natural your English sounds. See you next time. Great job today. Listening to natural English like this is the best way to improve your skills. Remember, you can download the free PDF script for today's episode from the link in the description below. It's perfect for reviewing the dialogue and practicing the vocabulary we learned. If you enjoyed this lesson, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening and keep up the great work. See you next time!